Hi, my name is Nariba Shepherd.
And I'm Justin Ornette Graham.
And this is Terms of Service. Max.
Boom. 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 That felt great.
It did.
Yeah.
You're damn right.
There it is. Good morning, Nariba.
That took a long time for me. Good morning.
How are you?
I am very excited to be awake. I've been awake for like what feels like 4 hours now. But it's like real, and we're here. We're in a new place.
Yes. And we're going to get into the new place towards the conclusion of this episode.
Oh,
but we're super, super happy to be. This is like a Terms of Service field trip.
Yes. Oh,
yeah.
You know, a bitch loves a field trip.
A bitch needs a field trip, actually. A bitch needs any sort of trip.
I mean, wasn't it like a field trip for you to get here this morning, though?
Yeah, we're not going to get into that, but yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was a journey through the valleys and through the mountains and all of that. But I have arrived. I am here.
Yes.
I am happy. Mm-hmm. And I could be wrong.
Yes.
But I'm pretty sure my season just started a couple days ago. But
the bitch wants everyone to know it's Aquarius season now.
But it is fine. We do not have to get into that because I am so excited for our next guest.
Oh.
Hi, Marta.
Hello.
Oh. She's bringing the ASMR voice.
She has her sexy secretary voice on for the beginning of the episode.
Yes.
Okay.
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you today?
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me. This is lovely.
Yes. So, per tradition, Nariba.
We have a very important question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, shoot.
What's your sign?
Well, my sun sign is Pisces.
Yes! I love a bitch who comes in with the
you
sun
know
sign
she knows her
first.
chart.
Yes, bring it. Thank you so much.
Her rising is Sagittarius, and her moon is Scorpio.
Oh my God.
So read me.
How do you
And again, I'm still
walk
learning,
around in the world with so many hype men for your Pisces sun? Because Sagittarius rising is all dad jokes. And then
Which I am very much.
And then a Scorpio moon is like, it's like if all the feelings were on the surface and you took not a single ibuprofen.
Yes.
To numb the edges.
It's very much a protector and a grudge holder.
Okay.
Yes, that is very much my moon, the Scorpio moon.
I live with a baby Scorpio, and she likes to cry into reflective surfaces, and I'm just like,
nice. All right.
Yes, as a baby, it was a lot of crying, but now that I'm older, the tears don't flow as much anymore.
You're like, it's not. No.
Which is, I'm always shocked, and I'm like, I should be crying, but I'm not. Good job, Marta. Do it in the walk-in.
I watch Grey's Anatomy once a week so that I can cry, because I don't cry in real life.
Someone was saying to me that Grey's Anatomy will just never end.
I don't know about that, but it has not decided to decease itself yet.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well,
but all I'm saying is that Shonda's not there no more. She hopped over to Netflix. So, who's doing this? Who is doing Grey's Anatomy?
It's Ellen Pompeo. She's writing, directing, starring, producing. She's like, we got to keep this going.
She's like, if I'm looking a little bit weathered, it's because I'm carrying this entire franchise on my back. So basically.
I love that, like, one of the storylines recently through the whole COVID thing was like, she was just in a coma. Like, for the whole fucking season. It's not a spoiler. We're in a new season.
So that bitch
asleep. She was asleep and still stacking that fucking paper.
Yeah, and still getting paid.
I do have to shout out, though, Puerto Rican actress Melissa Dupre, who is a cast member on this season. I don't watch Grey's Anatomy, but I know she's on it. So I'm like,
yes.
Go, girl, go. Represent Chicago, please.
And, you know, as we have been known to do, a little bit of just off topic, little tangent. Is that the lesbian?
No, she's not on there no more.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry.
It's okay, but she's doing some other gay shit.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah. Actually gay now. Before wasn't. Today, biggest butch.
Okay.
Callie. I don't know the actress's actual name.
Okay.
But she played Callie.
Sweet. Cool.
short for Calliope. Calliope?
Well, the more you
Calliope.
know, the more you know. It's
Yeah.
like reading Rainbow right now, and I'm kind of here for it.
We're
so
learning
this
new
is great.
words this morning.
Yes. Yes. Well,
Okay.
Marta,
Yes.
can you please talk to us a bit about your background? Who are you?
Who am I?
It's
well,
your first episode of therapy,
Yes.
actually.
I've never seen a therapist, so this is perfect. We might as well get like a baby birded into it. My full name is Marta Jean Evans. I grew up in Michigan.
Show me on the hand, because
okay.
isn't that a thing that everyone does who's from Michigan?
Of course it is, because if people ask where you're from, you're like, I'll just show you. So I am a LP, a Lower Peninsula girl. And I grew up in a town called Rochester Hills.
Okay.
Rochester is everywhere.
Everywhere. There's a Rochester in every state.
Sounds fancy
and
to
it's
me.
about 20 minutes north of Detroit. So it's about here.
Okay.
Right here.
Oh,
in the
oh.
thumb crack.
Is that near St. Clair Shores?
It is near St. Clair. Well,
Oh.
close-ish.
I was just like, damn, a bitch knows a map.
There you
but
go.
no, not, well, I've heard of St. Clair Shores.
I was going to be like, tell me more about this
lake
place.
because Lake St. Clair is one of the largest lakes and it actually connects to the Detroit River. So that's where everybody has a boat. Like if your family is boat people, then they typically have it on Lake St. Clair.
Word.
Oh.
But we had to drive. Anyways,
I like that you said boat people.
Yeah.
Because boats aren't just for rich people, apparently.
no, they're not.
Anyone could fucking get a boat is what I learned this summer.
Yeah, it's just can you afford to keep up with it?
Well, I almost, before you said boat people, I was almost just like white people. Because that's who I know.
Listen,
who I've
you're
only
not wrong.
experienced. Yeah, I was just like, oh.
I mean,
The dude from St. Clair Shores had a boat.
had a boat.
And
We had a boat, but my
he
stepdad is
white?
white, so like
yes.
So the first time I went on a boat was because I went to Florida to meet my white boyfriend's family. And they live on a farm, but we went on a boat because you could just like rent them.
Oh yeah.
And the entire time we were on this boat, his parents were talking about the kind of boat that they want to get. It's like, oh, I want it to be like this, but like this, but like this. And I'm like, so anyone can have a boat.
Yeah. It's just
I thought you needed like some special something.
it's called money. You need some money.
It's like that would be the special.
Well, the thing about a boat is that, like, you can cruise around in it, but once you fill the gas tank, filling a boat gas tank is like $200, $300
Really?
to like fill. Yeah, because think about if your car is like, 12 gallons, a boat is like 40 gallons because it, you have to power said boat. And then also storing the boat, you have to have a dock slip.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's where you're a marina member. And then you have to pay for said slip to store your boat there. And since we're in the Midwest, winter comes, you have to
Dry dock,
remove the
maybe.
boat. You have to weather it. And then they have to store the boat out of the water. So anybody can have a boat. But it's just, can you
I
afford
feel like I just
to
learned like
upkeep
so
it?
much
I know.
about just like boat life.
Boat life, yeah. Boat life is great, but it's also, like boats are lemons typically. Like they break down really easily. It is some rich people shit for sure.
I panicked about that 100% of the time. Like in preparation of getting on this boat, I did so much fucking research. I like made sure I knew where the life jackets were, where the first aid kit was.
I found out you shouldn't bring a banana on a boat.
Why?
Because I was eating a banana and I was going to go sailing, which, by the way, I will never go sailing again because your boy over here, no sea legs. So, no.
Is it like, are bananas bad luck?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
really?
Yes.
You just taught me something about a boat.
Yeah, you're never supposed to get on a boat with a banana. Ever.
Sorry,
brought
no men
boiled
on
peanuts.
boats.
Oh. Bada bing.
Banana jokes.
And just like that, we're going to remember that we have to stay on topic. So,
Sorry,
St.
I'm
Clair, the Mitt.
So from Rochester, my stepfather still owns and operates a large-scale catering business.
Nice.
And a 5-story historical Masonic temple in downtown Pontiac, Michigan.
Yes.
Where he ran his catering business out of, and then it became like a reception hall and whatnot. So I was in the service industry as young as I could carry a quarter pan and set up a Schaefer. So I've basically been in the service industry my entire life. In Michigan, you can bartend when you're 18. As I grew up in the ranks of the catering business, I found myself as a floor manager at 16 and 17.
As someone who just re-upped their Bassett, I was just like, no. It's 21 here in Illinois.
It's 21 here in Illinois.
Everything is 21 now because I was like, I'm going to send my nephew because he had just turned 18. It's like, send my nephew to the vape shop so he could pick up a vape for me because it's cold as fuck and I want to go outside. And it's 21 to buy tobacco products now.
It is.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Don't watch me struggle trying to open this can with my nails. No.
She wants that athletic brewing real bad.
Okay. All right, hold on.
There you go.
Don't break it. I can do that for you.
I'm doing it.
Okay.
I believe in you.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
Aww.
Did you hear that can open? Wait, I want to do it now.
Yeah, do it.
Yes.
Ready? Please redeem
We might as well
me.
keep the ASMR going.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking
what
about.
That's what we were looking for. Well,
I have to get my nails filled in, okay? It's like, it's rough out here, but I got to fix my teeth first, so
Fair.
Stay on that shit.
Fair. But Marta,
yes, here we are. We're back.
Yes.
And then I am very much a star for attention kid, center of attention kid. So when I wanted to stay in Michigan to stay with my high school boyfriend, my dad was like, "We gotta get her out of here. we gotta entice her out of this state." So I moved to Chicago, and I moved in with my father in Logan Square in 2004.
Oh, dang.
And I went to
Different
Columbia College of Chicago, and I was a theater. Well, at first I was a musical theater major.
We always dip in the toe first.
Yes.
And then we realize it might not be.
And I'm like, these musical theater bitches are cutthroat. I do not want to do this. Also, you're making me take ballet classes. No. And so then I became a theater major, and throughout the course of college, I started doing random gigs. I continued in the catering world, so I worked catering gigs when I was under 21, and then through the magical world of catering, and then I turned 21. I was presented a job at the Chicago Theater.
Ooh.
So I worked at the Chicago Theater when I was in college.
God dang.
And it was a really fun gig to begin with, before it got bought out and went super corporate. And then they made us all take drug tests. And then I had to take Ready Clean in the middle of my musical theater history class so I could pass. So I could drop, which I did pass.
You damn right.
Yeah. And then just, throughout my Chicago upbringing, just like was an actor for a while. I was a part of a theater company. I did plays in the city, all while still maintaining very much a service industry life to afford life.
Yeah.
And then I met Mr. Jim McCann, and he invited me to have a stage at Longman and Eagle. Ooh. This was a brand new restaurant in Logan Square, and 2010, and then from there on, I just kind of sailed away and learned all the things that I could, and craft cocktail business and Michelin star business, and I was at Longman for 7.5 years.
Oh wow!
God dang.
Yeah.
So I just have to say a quick thing about Longman and Eagle. So a relationship that I was in long ass time ago, we had our first official date there.
Oh.
And when I tell you that we got fucked up off those like patio pounders,
Correct.
one of the best experiences of my life. It was amazing.
And we did call them patio pounders. That was our label for it. Like, all right, we got to make a patio pounder. Here we go.
It was a jam. It was the jam. That is a extremely fond memory. I have multiple of Longman and Eagle, but that is a very specific fond memory. But that person is trash, so
You're gonna have that.
yeah.
Yeah.
We all have past.
Yeah, so
I tried to remind myself, I'm trying to be like more optimistic, so
leaning into that 2022 energy.
well, okay, so this is the thing. I like to set myself up for success from the beginning. So like right now, everyone's like in the middle of a nervous breakdown about the pandemic. So am I. It's fine. But I was like, in the beginning, when the CDC first said anything, they said 2024 is when the world will feel normal again. So every time someone is like, this is so fucked up, I'm like, bitch, it's 2022.
You got 2 years to go.
We got 2 years to go before I can like get mad. So now I'm just like, it's gonna happen.
And listen, we've already done 2 years. We're at the halfway mark. You know, we're
Exactly.
over
You know
the
what?
hill.
That is a beautiful way of thinking about it.
This is prison. I just realized we're all in prison.
And we're doing our bid right now.
Yes.
Maybe we'll
Because
get parole.
so
Maybe we'll get parole.
Because-
But it depends on how the inmates around us act. You know what I'm saying?
Literally though,
right.
because karmically,
Don't start no shit that won't be none.
In
Though. That
Words to live
where
by.
are the hands? Is there a sound for the hands? All of us. One.
insert hand sound there.
Tell me you're brown without telling me you're brown.
Hands. Hand talking.
Okay, so Chicago Theater.
Chicago Theater,
Going to
Longman
Longman Eagle.
And then I was there, and then I was like, let's switch it up. And then I went and worked at Parsons Logan Square. I was there for about 3 years.
I've never been to that location, actually.
It's the OG location.
I just never been there.
Yeah,
I drive
listen,
past
there's
it.
4 of them now. So once you go to one, you've been to all of them.
I mean, yes, that's sort of how
You know.
I feel. But that's like, I respect it being consistent.
Yes.
You know?
Consistency is key.
Yeah.
And then I've lived in Avondale. I don't know. I've lived in Avondale for a while, and I moved close to a bar named the Orbit Room, which is now named Ludlow Liquors.
Yeah.
And I went from high kicking drunk neighbor regular to bartender there. They offered me a job. I was like, oh boy.
They're like, this is entertaining.
Yeah. So I worked there for 3 years, and now I'm on to new service industry beginnings. I've officially become a manager. Somebody finally convinced
You
me
damn right.
to take
Yep.
a management position.
And how do you feel?
I feel excited. There will always be a part like in the back of my head being like, bitch, you got to be the manager now. Like, you got to deal with all that managerness that you see and all your friends have to deal with.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm smarter than that. I'll never do that. And I'm like, well, here we are.
But listen,
You're like, can I show you my manager card?
just looking at you talk about it, it gave me bad bitch energy.
Ooh.
Like, what she
Yeah.
feel like?
Hands.
Bad bitch.
yes.
Hands. Okay.
Hands again.
Like-
Hands again.
And I think there is something to be said about someone with so much experience who is put off being a manager for any reason outside of, oh, I want to be making more money. That is the worst fucking reason to be a manager because you don't
because
make
you're
more
not
money.
going to make more
exactly.
money.
Right.
So it's
At
like,
first you might. But there is something to say about consistency.
Yeah,
and
it's
let me
like
tell you all,
consistent
like,
money.
yes.
that consistent salary is like really lovely.
Yes, it's a
Like,
lifesaver.
oh,
Some
wow.
people may call that long money.
Okay, that's the long game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that
a long game.
the sauce? Because it ain't the juice.
It's not the juice.
It's not
It's
the
the
juice.
sauce.
not the juice. It would qualify as the
It's
sauce.
the puree on the bottom of the plate. That's the sauce.
I am
that it is.
entirely down with it being the puree at the bottom of yeah.
That's the swipe.
Because I wasn't completely sold on it being the sauce, but the puree, I'm here for.
Okay,
Yes.
it's a puree.
Yes.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
okay.
I don't know. I mean, like here we are. She's gonna manage. Like it is what
Can
it
you
is.
tell us? Can you talk about it, or are you not allowed to talk about it?
Oh, I can talk about it.
Then
Yeah.
talk about
about
it. This
it.
is a celebration. Look
I
at this
mean,
fucking glass.
There's certainly things that I won't be able to talk
Oh
about.
yeah, you don't have to talk about
but,
anything you don't want to.
But yeah, so I will be the assistant general manager at the California Clipper when
I
it
know that's right.
reopens.
Yes,
baby.
Almost broke a nail snapping on that one.
Love the California
Yes.
Clipper.
We love the California Clipper. I'm really excited. I actually, how I got connected to the Clipper was I decided that I was like, I'm done with the service industry. I'm ready to move on. And I was like, oh, sick. Cannabis has been legalized in Illinois.
Oh, hell yeah.
My 16-year-old stoner heart was like, you know what? I'm going to get a weed job. This is cool. I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited about the promise of cannabis in the state of Illinois. So I worked at a dispensary for a year, and then I quickly realized that it's trash.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, cannabis
shit.
world. Actually, I'm not sorry.
Oh.
It just wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Speak it with your whole chest.
And I just, it's glorified retail, and I felt like reverse Robin Hood, where I was making the richest, most evil men in the state richer and eviler.
Yes.
Damn.
Honestly. And so I was reached out to by Christina Magro. I don't know if we know who Christina Magro is, but she is the baddest of bitches when it comes to the bar world, the service world. And she reached out to me and asked if I'd be interested in being involved in the Clipper, and asked if I wanted to manage, and you know, she sold me on it. And well, at first she said, would you be interested in returning to the dark side? And I was like, well,
That's
who's
how it be,
asking?
though.
Yeah.
And she said, I am. And I was like, okay, well, when she asks you a question, you at least pay attention and you hear what she has to say. And she convinced me. And so I left the cannabis world. And here I am. I'm getting ready to manage. So it's exciting.
Yeah,
Respect.
with that, cheers to you.
Thank you.
Because
pandemic cheers, though.
Yes, air cheers, or
Air cheers.
as they say,
Give it to him.
as they say in the furniture business,
Give it.
cheers.
Every
yeah.
time.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
You're
yeah.
welcome.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
you have to live with
oh,
that.
yeah.
Listen, we're coming back to Sagittarius dad jokes, and that was
Yes.
perfect execution.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
Oh,
Of course.
Just fun fact though, if you're into dad jokes, PBS Eons, this is not sponsored by PBS, but it could be.
Viewers like
Has
you.
jokes that they read at the end of every segment that Patreon members can give them. Like they suggest them and then they blind read it. So the scientist who is talking has no idea what the joke is going to be and then has to say shit like
Dad jokes.
dad jokes.
Well, our DMs are open.
Yeah.
Yes,
Flood
at
the DMs
at
solely
Terms
with
of Service
dad jokes.
podcast. Our DMs stay open, so
Wide.
feel free. And also, just really quick, back to the cheers moment. We are enjoying some ritual rum alternative with carrot, lime, ginger juice, a little bit of mint. Simple. You know, I'm feeling.
She is spicy and
She's got a kick. Nice kick.
vivacious. I don't usually pull that word out,
Vivacious,
Bright.
but she's
Right.
giving it.
Yes,
She's
she
giving
is.
bright.
Yes, as the Houston native Meg the Stallion.
Ooh, let's talk about her. Can we make this a podcast about her now?
It's giving.
Ooh,
It's giving body yada yada. So there it is.
We will never deserve her.
No, but she's what we need.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't want to go into a whole rant about it, but
Talk about her all
I'm
day.
so grateful for like women for women energy. Like she's ready to do a remix with anybody who is going to be somebody.
Right.
And I like that there's no competition because she's in her own lane.
Yep.
And everyone respects that.
Yeah. And she's going to talk about sliding all over the floor. And I'm like, can I call a mop? Let's
Yes.
go.
Yes. Yes.
Can I call a mop?
Da-da-da.
And I just have to
Da-da-da.
pause for a second because I was going through that whole thing, and I was just like, "Can we drop that right there?" But
we
it's
can't.
fine. But we cannot. But I'm singing that in
Yes.
my mind right now.
Yes.
So just so that you're aware. So really quick with the California Clipper, that spot has gone through quite a few changes. And just retaining the name of California Clipper seemed like it was a journey in and of itself.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not privy to all of the nitty gritty details, but I mean, the Clipper is a historical building.
Yep.
You know, the building was built in 1890, if I'm not correct. It was a movie theater.
Haunted.
Haunted as fuck. I cannot wait to meet the ghost, yo. I'm so excited to meet the ghost. She's a lady ghost.
Oh,
That's right.
okay.
She's a lady ghost. But so the Clipper was actually a movie theater for a few years, and then it became the bar. Became a bar in the 30s, and from up until it was taken over by another restaurant group, and then that closed after the pandemic. And there was definitely a battle for who retains the name of the Clipper. And after deliberations and whatnot, we did get the name back.
Yes.
Which is important
Awesome, for
because
sure.
how can you open the Clipper and it's not the Clipper unless we opened it as the Clapper?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Thank you for that. Thank you for that so much.
The California Clapper. It's actually
Slide
not
right
that bad.
in.
but-
I'm trying to think of like all the different merchandising ideas, and it's just like, and everything is just like a bigger version of a clapper.
Yeah.
But when the light comes on, it's red.
Okay, that works. Or you have like those noise makers that are two hands, and then you do that,
and you also make it a fan.
Yeah.
I just like fans, y'all. I'm sorry.
Hey, why not? Fans are great. But yeah,
Well, I mean, I'm a fan of both of you, so.
Oh,
wow,
that's a double entendre right there. Oh my God,
we're working.
Not a single drop of alcohol, people.
No, spirit free. Yes.
The way to be.
Yes.
Before noon, for me.
On a Sunday.
Yeah.
On a snowy Sunday morning. Yes. So diving in a little bit deeper, what are some of the challenges that you have faced while being in the industry, would you say?
Because you're like in 3 industries that are like really good at building community within of itself, but has no real support from the outside.
Yeah, my journey with one being a woman, and that was honestly mostly that was the hardest thing coming up. Like I grew up in a boys club, like in my family business, I was the daughter and I grew up with 3 boys. I played a lot of sports, so I've always like prided myself on being in the boys club and like made that an important part of who I was.
What sports did you play though?
Well, I played softball for 12 years. I skied competitively in high school.
Bitch.
Wow.
White people shit.
Yep. I snowboard.
Rochester Hills, it comes with skiing.
T-ball.
There you go.
Yeah.
The ball don't move.
Yeah,
she's there for the picking.
I mean,
T-ball?
it's a sports show.
It's
basically,
basically,
so it's that.
So basically T-ball is there's a stand.
Okay.
And then the ball just sits on the stand. So there's no pitcher. So there's somebody stands in the pitcher's mound.
Okay.
It's basically for like younger kids that don't have enough coordination to like swing a bat and hit a ball. So they just sit the ball on top.
I was 13. I was 13.
Oh.
I am playing with y'all. I was
Okay.
like 6 years old.
I was going to say, wow, baby.
No, I'm just like, we got a whole hand-eye coordination issue.
I
over
support
here.
you, though. I was ready to support and defend you.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Got a
And
whole
then
ass baseball card.
I ran cross country for 3 years in high school, and I hated every minute of it.
You're like every step on the pavement was just not.
Well,
for you.
I was like, I'm like, oh, I want to play basketball. Like, I'm going to be a point guard. And I was terrible at basketball. I was really short and uncoordinated. So they're like, sorry, honey, you didn't make the cut. So I was like, well, I got to do something. So my friend was like, come to cross country with me. And then I just never left because I was like, well, I guess I can just get high and run. So like, that's what we'll do. So those are the, but softball was my like absolute favorite.
I was the captain of my softball team.
Yes, you were. What position did you play?
Shortstop.
Okay, there. Yeah, of course, you're a shortstop.
And let me tell you, so recently I was listening to that Nelly and Kelly Rowland song where he's Dilemma,
with the Excel text message on the sidekick.
It's like, why didn't he hit me back? Because girl, you were running your numbers, not texting somebody. Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about?
Because you're working out formulas.
Yeah, I was like, are you okay? Are you okay?
What did he say? He said something about like, because I'm a shortstop, picking up everything mommy throwing at me. And I was like...
You're like, let me...
It just clicked in my brain. I was like, I was a shortstop. Oh, because you gotta be between 2 bases. I get it. That was my whole interjection for that.
And also, if anyone sees that lyric as Nariba's Instagram caption... You heard it here first.
We just found it.
Yes.
We found the origin story.
That's why I've been just thinking about the St. Lunatics this whole time.
It's just like,
Full
you
circle.
know what? That's going to be fire when I go ahead and drop that.
I loved softball, though.
But, like, I guess being a woman within literally any industry, because, the world has been ruled by men for way too long, is difficult.
Yeah.
So
for me, I prided myself on being in the boys club. And like, I just want to hang out with dudes and guys and all this. And that translated very much to me being in the service industry because everywhere was a boys club when I started working service, everywhere. And that's just kind of how it ruled. All the managers were, most of the managers, not all, most were men. Most of the bartenders I worked with were men. And so I chameleoned myself. So like it was almost like a survival tactic to where like, okay, well, this dude is this way. So now I got to act that way. And oh, like, well, this is how I got to get in. Like, oh, I got to act like one of the boys.
Sounds minimizing.
Absolutely. But as for me, I was just like, well, I'm cool. You're like, I'm a cool guy. These guys think I'm cool. So like, I must be doing something right. And then as I've gotten older, I'm like, oh, that was complete survival tactic. That was me just like trying to be cool and trying to impress everybody. My like sensitive Pisces heart is like, I have to be liked. Everybody has to like me.
I'm glad you know where it comes from.
Oh boy, it definitely comes from there. So that was kind of like coming into myself as a woman. Took a while. And also that translated into a lot of my friendships too. I felt like it was necessary for me to be friends with men more than women because I felt like I connected with them more. And like, you know, boys called like this cool, blah, 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 smoke weed, drink things. But as I've gotten older, you know, like my relationships and my friendships with women have become extremely important and strong and necessary. And I can definitely recognize that now. So it took me a while to like have to be comfortable with myself and not have to, you know, adapt to the men around me so that I could feel like I fit in.
Yeah.
And so that I could feel like, you know, I was able to be there, like I deserved to be there, where now I know I deserve to be places because of who I am and what I bring to the table and like my skill set, which is also frustrating because, you know, like obviously I adapted some problematic behavior because I was just trying to be one of the boys. And so it took a lot of unlearning too, being like, oh, that's not okay. And I did that because I wanted to be cool. And I said these things because I wanted to be cool. And I'm like, oh, that's not okay now.
Yeah.
And so it's taken a lot of unlearning actually about mannerisms that I have and ways that I thought. You know, coming from Michigan, it is like a beautiful place, but it is a very racist place. And so like unlearning my like, you know, racist tendencies in terms of like my mental thinking and verbiage and just like knowing what's okay and what's not okay. And so that's been a challenge as well of like recognizing where I need to improve and recognizing in my past what was unacceptable and like also knowing that is a part of me and it's awful and I wish it wasn't, but it's also helped me unlearn it because I can recognize those patterns in myself and also in people around me. Now I can see people and how they act and I can like be like, okay, well, I know how that feels because we've all had to unlearn these things as well. So it's kind of helped me be able to navigate the world in terms of being respectful and intentional and inclusive.
That's that manager energy you're talking about.
Man,
right
it took a lot. It was really hard. And, you know, being a part of the Fly Honeys.
I was like waiting. I was like,
yeah,
we can
talk about it. I'll talk about this all day.
Energy.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, I learned so much from being a part of the show and being a part of Fly Honeys and being a part of communities that I observed from the outside. But, you know, it was really like this incredible situation to be put into to where I was suddenly surrounded by any and all bodies and learning what verbiage is not okay and learning how to navigate social situations in a respectful way. And also just being able more accepting, I don't know about accepting. I don't want to say that. Like I'm about to cancel myself. But bitch, you're canceled. Just being a part of Fly Honey has like really opened my eyes to sensitivity and empathy and understanding and also standing up for your communities and realizing that like, you know, certain people have not had the platform and that I have a privilege and a right and that I can help and, you know, try and be an ally as much as possible. And I really learned that from Fly Honey and not from being in the service industry. I'll tell you that much.
I learned it from Beyonce.
There you go.
In 2016, when she became black, I'm sticking with my story.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not disagreeing with you.
I was like, oh shit. Like, she's talking about black things and I can talk about black things and I don't give a fuck if they fire me about it. Because so last night I had a conversation with my partner because he's noticing some like fucked up things that are happening at work. And he's a white dude. And he's like, I feel like the optics look bad. And in my brain, I'm going, privilege. You are saying the optics, because it's not your lived experience, but you can see that it's fucked up. And someone said something about one of the guys changing the music to like some ignorant rap shit.
Oh.
And
I can talk about this all day.
yeah,
I was like, because I can definitely speak on this for forever, because there used to be a spot that I bartended at that is a very popular beer-focused establishment. And the stories I could tell you about the comments that were made from leadership down about certain music being played in that tap room, but yet it's no problem, bro, when like the obscure guitarist who made that one EP who like died on his way to go to like the recording session, you can play that on fucking repeat and like no one knows what the hell that is.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, this is great one time, but it's like something that people like to vibe to and it like fits the whole thing. But it just depends on where it's coming from.
Yeah.
There's certainly something to say about like recognizing what kind of music you're playing and if it's appropriate in terms of like, if you are at a restaurant and it's brunch and you're playing a song and the N-word is being repeated at 10 a.m. and you are not in an establishment that has black representation, like we need to be specific about what, like, is that okay?
Yeah.
Or if Fergalicious is playing at 10 a.m. on brunch.
Do you want to fight?
Okay. Fair. All right.
But people being like, there's no, like, we don't play rap music in here. I'm like, well, we don't play country in here. Like, I don't know. Like, I guess I'm just going to parry at you and be like, what? Okay, great. And then
that's also just a really, coward statement, in my opinion, when people are just like, I don't play rap music or we don't play rap music. Just flat out say that you don't want to play black music.
Exactly.
Because
I
of
feel
how
like
it's anchored and where it's rooted.
Yeah, I feel like it's not like if Hootie and the fucking Blowfish came on, they'd be like, oh, yeah, this is okay. I'm like, he's black.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he's a black country singer now.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And also, too, I think just to make a blanket statement, like, we don't play rap music. You're like, okay, well, let's be honest. Like, there's so much like beautiful, incredible, creative material that like is within the rap umbrella that like, how can you just make this blanket like we don't play rap music? Like, all right, well, you don't play hip hop, you don't play like trap, like we like what like branch are you saying no to? Because like I'm sure I can play Jurassic 5 in a bar and everybody vibes to it. Like you can play the Roots because it's wonderful, good, beautiful music, but like that's rap. So like, what, you're not going to allow yourself to listen to that even?
I used to like straight up put on a future funk playlist because with the explicit lyrics like ban on it, and everyone loved that shit, and it had rap in it, but I got away with it because it was like melodic and no one could like hear the thing. Meanwhile, straight up every Wednesday at Blackbird, we just straight up played Wu-Tang Clan in the fucking
forever and ever
in the dining room, and not a single ancient white woman ever knew the difference.
Well, and it's also funny to think about like Kuma's in the old days, when like you go into Kuma's and there'd be like 70-year-old women eating burgers, and there's like, the heaviest metal you could ever think of, and they're just like, they're fine eating their burgers, like listening to metal. I'm like, why is this okay? But like, you can't listen to Gangstar for brunch. Like, why not? Like, I don't. Where does this translate?
One of the biggest sort of like acknowledgements on my side is when this burly white dude sat at this tap room, and he's like, dude, is this such and such? I haven't heard this in forever. And that also is just like my perception of just like, oh, well, like they're all listening to the same shit. Yeah. And then we just had like an hour-long conversation about funk, soul. And he's like, it's so refreshing to hear it here, because a lot of places will like to say that music isn't part of the experience. So like, oh, it's like the white noise, it's in the background.
Wrong.
Yeah, disagree.
Yeah.
And when people actually like perk up and pay attention, that's an opportunity to really start like diving in deeper with like a stranger at that point that could essentially be a homie. And that person I will actually save that for another episode, but that person is absolutely wonderful, and
Okay.
and we'll talk about that later. But yeah,
I'm like,
you never know.
all right.
Music as a bridge.
Music as a bridge.
Yes.
So, okay. So my next question is, why do you stay in the industry?
I mean, that's a good question because I recently had to answer it for myself again. You know, like making this parry into cannabis. I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be behind a bar anymore. Like, I'm tired. Like the inconsistency. But once I had returned back behind the bar, I was having fun again and I was enjoying myself. And as much as I don't want to act like it's not ingrained in me, like it is very much ingrained in me. Like it's all I've ever done. I've never had an office job. I've never, you know, like all I ever did, I mean, with the exception of working in a dispensary, it was always service industry. I mean, with the exception of acting, but let's be honest, I never got paid for that. I mean, come on, I don't know. I didn't really get paid for that. I stay now because I know that I belong here now, and I feel like I truly believe that.
That's great.
And I feel like I have an opportunity to teach people some things and guide some people and like really add to an environment and not feel weird about it.
Yep.
And as a strong like woman, as a skilled service industry worker, as a Puerto Rican woman, I feel like I almost have a duty to keep going and not just to bail out so that I can help improve what needs to be improved, which is a lot. You know, I want to create service industry spaces that are safe spaces and inclusive and supporting and important. You know, it's really easy just to get a job somewhere.
Yep.
And, you know, work for money, which is like, obviously it's not about money. We all have to live and get paid. You know, like anybody's lying if they don't say that that's not part of it.
Yeah.
But being able to help improve it and in any way I can is important. And I think it would be disrespectful and, you know, ill-advised for me not to keep going. Is that fair?
Feel that. No,
Yeah.
I feel that so hard. I like have like a guilty conscience because I like purposefully didn't renew my serve safe manager, so I can't like take another like chef job because I'm like, I want to do my very best to bring resources that are important, that I think are important for service industry people to have. And like, I think about it all the time because I'm like, I could just get like a part-time job, like doing the thing. But I know that for me, it's a slippery slope of just like going back in and burying myself in work. And I know that I can foster an environment that is safe and inclusive and like where I really want people to be so good that they're coming for my job. Like not in a like competitive way, but just in a, this is how we make everything better.
Right.
Way instead of gatekeeping fucking industry jobs.
It's also like moving forward, being really specific about where you want to work, you know, like, you know, choosing places that are supportive of staff, that are respectful of a work-life balance, that are understanding that, like, you know, I fucking hate doubles. I think doubles are the biggest bullshit in the world. And even when I was younger, I would like very rarely would I work a double because I know by hour 10, I'm like shut down. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm over it. And like, that's when I know that my hospitality would suffer because I'm like, fuck this. I want to be done with this shift. I'm trying to get out of here as fast as possible. So I think like being like working at a place that's like, oh, well, you're just going to work a double like forever. You know, for instance, my lovely husband worked a brunch double on Saturday for like a year and a half, 2 years straight.
Yeah.
And just like,
shout out to Jeff for being there
to Jeff
with me.
Wilson.
Shout out to my support team.
You know, so like it was necessary for like, you know, the restaurant to succeed, but like the mental health of that and like the repercussions of like, you know, the fatigue mentally and physically of that, I think is completely ridiculous.
You know how I know I'm fucked up? I live for a double. Give me that
You
shit.
live for a double?
Give it to me.
No.
I think it's because I'm one of those people who like also waits to the last possible moment to eat lunch. Like I could be about to pass out and I'll be like, oh, let me just wait 30 more minutes. And then when I have lunch, there's only like 2 hours left
Wait.
before I have to go home.
Wait.
Like I don't know what that is, but it's a community thing.
Huh.
I have done some polls, and
You're in the trenches.
Yeah. I know that's how I am still in therapy once a week, every week, because I'm like, give me a double. Let me be exhausted at the end of it, sleep for 6 hours and wake up and clean my apartment the next day. Like, I'm trying to unlearn it. I'm trying to change my pattern. Like, every morning I wake up at 8 and I'm like, do something different. But
that works.
It's hard. I haven't done it different yet.
Like, I'm fooling myself if I don't think I'm about to work a couple doubles here and there. Like, come on, Marta, let's be honest. You're going to be assistant general managing a bar. Like, you know, you're going to be there for a long time some days. Like, which is fine. But like, to like put it like consistently, like, I did this for a year. I'm like, that's crazy to me.
No, yeah, it is. I understand that.
You know, like, obviously the show must go on, as they say, but at what cost?
And that's what I wanted to mention, because there used to be this spot, Small Bar, formerly at 2049 West Division, which is now Pub Royale.
Damn, I was like, you damn specific on that one.
Oh yeah, because I practically lived in that damn place. Absolutely. But I was always right in the middle, because weekends, doubles, like Saturday, Sunday brunch, like this is just what it is. And then, you know, you leave at 3, maybe like 4 in the morning because, you know, you're decompressing, or you're just so goddamn exhausted that you just don't want to get off the bar stool.
Yep.
You know,
or you're just like, I'm exhausted, so I'm just going to get hammered.
Yeah.
I mean, there were certainly days where I would open Longman, because I worked brunch primarily there for many, many years. And then my shift would end at 6, and then I would start drinking, and then I would close Longman, and then I'd have to be up again and open Longman, like the open to Clopen.
Ooh, the Clopen.
The open to Clopen. By choice, by substance, because you're like, I'm exhausted. It was a hard day. I'm just going to get drunk now. And then you're like, oh, I'm drunk. Now I have to go to bed. And then you're, you know, falling asleep at 3, and then my alarm clock is going off at 7:30 because I had to be there at 8, and I'm like, ooh, she was a monster, and she did that a few times, but now, oh no, sir,
I could never. I could never.
Sir.
No.
I don't even like try to day drink if I know I have to do something later in the afternoon. Not even like at night.
I've kind of flipped
day
that
drinking is for a
bit.
different metabolism.
Yeah. So, but just on my side, I have gotten down with some day drinking because I'm just like, oh, I'm going to be like cooled out by like 6 o'clock at home. Going to go ahead and have like a full night's rest. Yes. And I'm not going to wake up feeling shitty or less shitty.
Y'all had me with the last recording session, and I did not come prepared because usually we're like spirit free everything, and I did not come prepared for the last set of recordings. And when I tell you, if my boyfriend hadn't ordered food by the time I got home, I was asleep by 7 p.m. that night, y'all. I had plans,
like, I was
never made it.
You were like a baby.
Never made it. Couldn't do it.
Was out.
Because I can have a max of 3 alcoholic beverages now. Whereas before, like, I found a college photo of me the other day where I was dressed as a biddy, B-I-D-D-I-E.
Ooh, she
Look
biddy.
up the Urban Dictionary for biddy when you get a chance, representing Burlington, Vermont. And there's no one in my eyes. And it says 13 Jose that I have written on myself in Sharpie because I was keeping track of my shots. Did the math. It's about 15 shots in a 750, give or take. Or is it 20?
It's yes, it's 20.
Okay.
I think it's like 20,
So, yeah,
22,
13.
somewhere on there.
13
Depending on
of
how
them.
heavy you're pouring.
College.
College.
Solo cup.
Heavy.
Solo cup measurements.
Yeah.
Jungle juice out the Rubbermaid tub,
Yes.
baby.
Ouch. Ouch.
Yep. I can't do that anymore.
No, of
like you
course
said,
not.
different metabolism.
It's called diabetes now.
Yes. Yes.
It's called the sugar foot, and you need that foot.
Yes.
I can't do it. Cannot do it anymore.
Well, that reminds me of way back when. Have you ever played Edward 40 Hands?
Rugby
Don't.
initiation.
What?
Yes.
Wait, so you played rugby?
Yes. I played softball and rugby.
Yes, you
How
did.
did my family not know I was gay? for so fucking long. I told them and they still didn't believe me. I was like, I'm out here playing rugby in a prom dress. The fuck? Yeah, I was part of rugby, and definitely they did Edward 40 hands for like a party, but then for initiation night, they challenge by choice you, and you get to have a cup taped to not your drinking hand, but your left, whatever is your left hand, right hand, whatever. And then the rest of the team would quarter you often. So you would have to drink your entire cup because you're holding it in the wrong hand. So they'll just walk around doing that. And then they let us go in Burlington to do a scavenger hunt.
After
Chaos.
that. Yes.
And you were in
Perfect
groups.
word. Yes.
And you had
That
to
is
like
chaotic.
collect things. You had to interact with people. I ran up and down a hill
just, like,
to
listening to
bob
this right now. That's
from
insane
a
to me.
bathtub of nips. Bobbing from a bathtub of nips.
Like rubber nipples?
No, like the small bottles of
Oh, okay, great.
Nips.
Yeah.
Needless to say, luckily my girlfriend at the time was on the rugby team and was a sober pseudo and got me back to
Bless
her
her.
room safely, but did not realize that her roommate was there trying to have intimacy with her boyfriend. And I proceeded to take off my clothes and lay on the floor and just laugh. He had to leave and get assistance to lift me back into the bed, and I laughed the entire time. That is why I don't drink on Sundays.
You're like, all of that is to say.
This is why you always leave a note.
Yep. Don't drink if you don't want to. Challenge by choice.
That's also something that I've learned too, is like, my nickname is Marta Jean the Party Queen. And like my family are very much damp people, if you will.
I'm from Trinidad. I understand.
They've known get a little wet, and like part of that party culture, industry culture, is just like drinking to party and just being like really drunk for a solid, I don't know, 10 years if I'm being completely honest, and like finding that balance too. And at this point now, my body's like, bitch, slow down.
Yeah.
And like, obviously in the pandemic, we're all like, fuck it, we're all stuck inside, we're just gonna drink every drop of alcohol we can see.
And time is an illusion.
Yep,
It's an illusion.
100%.
Yeah, time is a social construct.
Yeah.
So now I physically like don't want to drink as more, and it's been really interesting to like recognize that, to where like I'm gonna crack this beer and I'm gonna drink it, and then I drink half of it and I'm like, I don't want this anymore. Or just like beer in general. I have not been drinking a ton of beer in the past, like, I don't know, 2-3 months, and I'm like, she's just drinking wine now, and I'm like, oh, I feel okay.
Yep.
I feel a little better.
Guilty.
I have switched out beer for athletic brewing now, literally at my house,
awesome.
because I find that mostly I just miss the carbonation of it. And the golden ale hits that spot of like,
That sweet
I
spot.
want to like be an adult, but I also want to be an adult and not feel like shit the next day. So it's like, that's my nice in between. Very often though, if I'm out and everyone's having beers and a shot, I will order a non-alcoholic beer and still have an alcoholic shot, because
Balance.
to be completely
balance.
honest, I used to give away my beers all the time when I would get a shot and a beer at Sporties. I'd be like, which one of my male coworkers finished their beer and want it? You want this beer?
Yeah.
And that's how they're like, Reba, you drink the whole night, blah, blah. I'm like, no, y'all drank the whole night.
You gave him the old Coyote Ugly slip, if you will.
Yeah.
I was like,
They're
oh,
like, this
thank
just
you so
keeps going
much.
down. It's like,
Wow, she's a tank. And you're like, she's not actually drinking it.
No.
Whereas me, I was actually drinking all of it and just like black out or get out, baby. That was how she lived for a while.
The ride or
I'm like,
die.
I did a what,
for
a who?
yourself.
I said a what? Oh boy, here we go. But I'm like, not a mean drunk. Sometimes she's a sad drunk because she's a Pisces.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, she's just loud.
That's me.
Loud. So
I'm loud already,
I can get
though.
away with acting like a total piece of shit sometimes because I can be charming when I really want to.
That's that Sag rise coming in
Sorry,
to like
Jeff.
save you.
I love you. Thank you for dealing with me. Shout out to my husband.
For real.
So
Jeff.
I feel like we've like dabbled on it a little bit, but there's certain things specifically that like bum you out about the industry that you'd like to just really bring some attention to change. I mean, it seems like drinking obviously is one.
Yeah,
which is like a coping mechanism for some.
A coping mechanism. I think we really need to take a hard look at just like our substance intake, and that is a span of like any and all substances, you know, like we are fooling ourselves if we don't recognize that there's a drug problem like in our world, and it's specifically fueled by the hours.
Yeah.
You know, like
Agreed.
by the necessity to keep going, to keep doing doubles, you know, like you facilitate the party, the bar closes, and now you want to party. And like, well, it's 4 a.m. How do you keep the party going? Well, you keep the party going. And so I think it's just really tough sometimes to have to witness like the fall
Yeah.
of the realization that like we need to have a discussion with ourselves.
Yeah.
So, like we need to recognize that like, you know, the party queen's going to party every once in a while, but like to kind of hone it in and take care of people and recognize like this person, like this is my friend and that friend needs help.
Yeah.
And that's tied into a lot of things. It's tied into mental health. It's tied into, you know, social, I don't know, like maneuvering.
Mm-hmm. It's all like a social structure that both celebrates and commits to keeping the cycle going.
Yeah.
And people are so invested in it being tried and true. Like you get up, you go to work, you start drinking like 3 hours before, you shut everything down. You probably have a double. So someone is like, you got some drugs? And someone's like, I got some drugs. And next thing you know, you're awake until 5 o'clock in the fucking morning. And you just like go to sleep. And the only way to keep it going is getting sucked into the cycle.
Yeah.
So I think
it's very much a cycle.
Yeah. I think it's good of us to start recognizing that, because my boss, Laura, says it like this. She's like, it's more about the like aspect of togetherness that people feel when they're doing this thing that's like not necessarily
You're part of the club.
You're part of the club. And she's like, that is a lot of what feeds into it. And she's not wrong. I feel like a lot of it what started, for me at least in my experience, with wanting to be seen and heard along with the guys. And then
Yep, there it is. The boys club.
Yeah.
Boys club aspect.
And then you like want to go out and like party and do the thing with them. And then next thing you know, you're like doing drugs in your apartment to clean it on a Sunday because you're off. And I was like, maybe this isn't it.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just like join the gym because it's endorphins.
It's survival mode. You know, you're just doing it to survive. And that's just like it, the system that you and the cycle that you find yourself in. It's tough. And I think that, you know, I'm obviously not throwing stones in glass houses. I have like certainly had to evolve and recognize my patterns and my substance patterns, and it's taken some time.
Yep.
So I think that's something that we really need to be honest about. And also I'm just like the boys club aspect of everything, and that, you know, that's like ownership down. You know, I've worked for different companies and all of them were always owned by men. Very rarely have I worked. I mean, I don't think I've ever really worked for anywhere that wasn't owned by a man. And even that, it's specifically a cisgendered white man. So I think I'm ready to like break down that house and, you know, like,
Wow, me neither.
we
I just had to
need,
think about that for a
you know,
second.
just
I was
like leadership. And it's really easy to like, there's one thing to like hire representation, but it's another thing to like listen to that hired
Yes.
representation.
Yep.
You know, you can't just
to
like
embody that representation.
hire a bunch of women because you're supposed to now. It's like, oh, well, you actually have to listen to what they have to say
Yeah.
and take their suggestions. And, you know, there's still like the equity thing just blows my mind even to this day. But, you know, like friends of mine have worked for companies and were let go. And then shortly after that, there was a man hired and they were paid what they were, you know, the new hire is being paid what the old employee was
Yep.
asking for. And it's like, where is this disconnect? Like, why do we have to advocate for ourselves so much? And why do we often not get what we are asking for? You know, people work themselves into the ground and, you know, it's how much are we worth?
Yeah.
I think that's the question that we really have to ask. Like, how much am I worth? Am I worth this? Am I worth more? Is
That's
this
why I
even
like the
worth my
kids.
time?
That's why I like the kids, because they came in with that energy and they just like don't give a fuck. And they're like, if I don't like it, I'm not going to stay at this job. And I was like, that is a novel fucking idea.
Talking about the Gen Zers out there.
Yeah. I'm
Yes.
like, I want to work for something that I believe in and that I'm passionate about. That's what I want to do, because I just want to be happy at work. Like, I also want to make that money, but I would rather be emotionally happy, mentally happy. And that's what the kids want. And they're like, how can I figure out how to do that and make money?
I've been a part of places to where I feel like it would start about 48 to 36 hours prior to having to go to a shift at an establishment. And it just the mental hold it had to where I felt like a zombie just walking through that door, and I couldn't even enjoy my full time away because I'm like, here
Exactly.
we go again.
It started that marathon and you're like,
Yeah.
did I even get to rest after the last one? You're like, nope, doesn't matter. Here we go. Let's keep going. Like, I have no choice.
Yeah.
But then because of that, you don't know how to have a day off. So if you have too many days off in a row, you're like, what the fuck is this?
Right. Yeah.
Why is this happening?
Or
I've
it's
done
like tying
everything.
back into the substances. Like, it's my day off. I'm getting fucked up. And you're like, no, do your laundry.
Yeah.
Literally.
No, like,
Cook a meal for
Facts.
yourself.
Facts.
Last night, that was me. I was like, you can have a glass of wine when you come back from the grocery store, but remember, you have to make dinner. And I was like, ooh, okay, what if I set up everything first? Get everything in the Instapot, get my veg in the oven, and then you have a glass of wine. Because I will start to get tired immediately. And if I decide I want to smoke a spliff, I have to do like a flight servings, not even a full 5 ounce
Gotta,
pour,
gotta.
just like
Mhm.
3.
Yeah.
And
It's like, this is 20%,
yeah,
50%. You know,
and
like
that's
the,
me
the
getting lit
percentage
while I
growth.
do my laundry.
There you go.
Yeah,
You
God,
you
31.
ration it out.
I
Nice.
feel good
It's
though.
clever.
I feel
No,
good
it's
the
clever.
next day.
Yeah.
Listen, getting stoned to the bone at nighttime is just like the way to be right
Yes.
now. And I, you know, I woke up with a hangover this week, and I was like, I can't keep doing this.
Exactly. That's what it feels
Or for
like.
me, I was like, I have to be really specific about what hangovers are worth it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm like, is it worth it? Do I need to feel this way? Like, was that necessary? And like, where do I find the thing where like I'm buzzed and now I'm just gonna smoke a fat bone and now I'm just gonna feel good
Yes.
and not just have to like have this like constant flow of liquid to like, you know, party.
Right.
I don't know.
Sometimes I miss it though. Sometimes I miss like.
Listen, every once in a
being
while,
able to
I let
go
the
there.
tiger out of the cage, and you better look out, world. But for the most part, tiger's snoozing.
Yeah.
For the most part. And also now I'm like, oh, I'm about to work down the street from the Continental. She needs to be very
very
specific,
The Continental.
extremely intentional about when I feel like I want to go out and have fun. And
I've been there.
Right.
we've all been there.
God.
I don't know if we all
Physically been there.
We've been.
Yes.
I'm here, but
Yes.
I'm not here.
Yeah.
Oh, no one is
Yeah.
in your eyes when you walk out of there. You might have had someone still, but dang, I
I know.
can't tell you.
And then just back to just really quick to the whole like time as an illusion and like social construct. It's something that I still deal with is justifying being like, oh yeah, like, you know, it's just like, it's a Tuesday, we're like gonna hang out, and then we hang out.
Hang out.
And that is due to just the industry, because like Monday, Tuesdays, that's like
I was
supposedly,
like, the weekend is whenever you have your days off.
right. But so on the front of house side, typically, you know, you just like, you'll get your Monday, Tuesday, and then you roll in like Wednesday through like Sunday or Saturday. Yeah. And I have had to really check myself in the mirror and be like, Justin, there is no need for you to be going up on a Tuesday. You are 35 years old, sir. Sit the hell down.
Drink a water.
Drink a water.
Eat a green thing.
Yeah, eat something that's green. You know, just put on a little Law & Order SVU in the background, because that's my jam. I will, put it on my tombstone. I don't care.
I feel betrayed because I rewatched the entire season through the end of, I almost said Scully and Mulder, through the end, through like Olivia, and I don't want to say his name because I feel like if I say it 2 more times, he'll just like pop up.
That's fine by me. Stabler?
Yes, he's been haunting my dreams. But like not in the sexy way, but in the like in the like True Blood way, which is a little creepy because he was in True Blood. In case
I had no idea. That. Never seen True Blood.
Oh,
sorry.
First 3 seasons are fire. After that, don't bother.
You don't have to. Yeah, just give.
You don't need to worry about after that. But the first 3 seasons, sexy time.
Yes. Okay. All right.
I rewatched.
Very
all of
white,
it.
However.
Yes.
Oh boy, that's a white ass show. Mm-hmm. Even though it takes place in Louisiana.
It's like a stack house.
You know. So.
But yeah, long story short, I rewatched all of it. They never got together. Benson and Stabler. Fun fact. If you were watching it for that reason, it never happens. But it's still good. And it's
Damn.
He's not even on the show anymore. It's not even a spoiler.
He's got his own spinoff now. So,
does he?
Yes.
Benson and Hedges.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't even done with the first half of that, and then the second one rolled in. Damn.
Thank you.
Y'all are together on that one.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Very collaborative.
Yeah, I'm feeling this energy. I'm
flowing.
here for it. Yes. So we're beginning to
I know.
wrap
I
up.
heard it in your sigh.
I know.
That
was a definitive
coming to
sigh.
the end.
Yeah, but I do want to ask you, Marta, why is it important to you to be vocal about these realities in the industry?
Well, obviously, we need to change. We need to adapt and evolve. Anybody that is stuck in their ways doesn't recognize that, like, that's not how we grow. Anybody that thinks that there is no room for improvement, I think you're dead in the water. And so the more that we talk about it, the more we make people feel uncomfortable, the easier it becomes to talk about it. You know, obviously, there's uncomfortable conversations to be had. All over, not just about race and gender, but about substance and culture and respect and mental health. So I think the more that we talk about it and the more we generate about it, the easier it becomes to have these conversations and tackle it and make it a specific intentions and decisions about the environment that you're creating, not just for you know, your guests, but for your staff as well, for the culture of, you know, who you're taking care of, you know, and I've really had to think about that a lot coming into being Miss Manager Pants.
Miss Manager Pants.
Miss Manager Pants. Yeah. So, I just think it's necessary that we just keep talking about it, because as soon as you think that you've tackled everything, you're dead in the water. And it's important and necessary, and we're all still learning and unlearning, and anybody that thinks that they don't have learning and unlearning to do, that's also when you're dead in the water. So it's really important, you know, and I'm not perfect, and I still have to, at times have to catch myself and realize that, like, what I did was not appropriate and hurt somebody or could hurt someone, and when I'm approached about it, not to take it personally. I think that's the one thing that we all really need to recognize in ourselves is like the initial wall to put up is to be defensive, like, well, I'm not this and I'm not that. And it's like, no, like there's no black and white, right? Like that's how we're talking about cancel culture. Like, yes, we need to call a bitch out. No problem. Like we need to address things that need to be addressed, but it's about accepting that criticism and really building on it and growing and realizing that we all need to be better all the time.
Yes.
And that's really something that I've learned to coming back to Fly Honeys is like there were certain jokes that I would want to tell, and then I would be approached by a specific community member to be like, hey, that really doesn't jive with me, or this could be a problem, or that's not really representing this and that. And I'd be like, cool, I hear you. I'm really sad that I don't get to tell this joke that I think is really funny, but I recognize that this is not appropriate. And then you just move on and you create something different. You know, like it's about like this defensive, even, you know, like we don't need to get into but like the comedy world. It's like, oh, well, cancel culture is ruining comedy. And I'm like, I think you're a bad comedian if you can't evolve with the world around you. Are you truly funny if you, one, have to joke at people's expense around you all the time? Is that funny? Or can you not like vibe and adapt and chameleon yourself to what is appropriate? And I don't know, just make fun of yourself now, I guess. I don't know. Like, why can't you be the joke?
Some
you know,
are.
just like
Some are.
realizing that like we all have to evolve, right? Like there's no ins and outs, and it's very much a gray. And we're all in different levels of learning and unlearning and recognizing privilege. I have privilege, you know, like I am very much passing. I am Puerto Rican. Like, so I've, our dear friend Michael, he's like, you're passing. He's like, but you got a drop in you. So like, there's always going to be that one drop that like people can recognize that that's in you, but they don't necessarily have to know. So like, I have to recognize like my privilege of like passing, coming from like an affluent, like rich, white, suburban neighborhood, and like how I carry myself throughout spaces in the world and environments. And just realizing that like the work is never done. Ever.
Never.
The work is never done. So like me also using my privilege to, you know, advocate for others and all of us in general, like it or not, like if you're born in America, you have privilege because you are an American. But you know, like there's also levels of privilege and like systems and classes and all of that. So I think as long as we can recognize what we can do to like help even just move one singular conversation forward is the very least that we can do, is just to like have an uncomfortable conversation.
100.
You know, like my family is like really difficult right now, and they're like very Republican. And so like being on the other side, like I am now the black sheep in the family, and it's like, okay, cool. You have to choose your battles, because there's like I can't. I could speak,
you can't do it all day.
I can't do it all day, and I'm not going to change minds. But as long as I keep like every once in a while jabbing, like poking the stick, like I'm going to poke the jellyfish and see what happens. But yes, our work is never done, I guess is what I'm saying, and mine itself included. And I recognize that like my privilege is what it is, and I need to use it for good.
And
not be defensive. It's so easy to do
hard,
that.
though.
It's hard.
Because I feel like in the industry, like uterus bearing people get pushed into this corner of making everyone else feel comfortable and then breaking. And then you're like, I'm fighting for myself, because you have to like be heard and be present. But what I found was as soon as I got into a position to like start communicating with people and realizing all the really bad fucked up habits that I picked up from my white cis chefs along the way, and making those changes for yourself and being the example that you want set for the rest of your staff, it gets better.
It's better.
But you got to do that
It's a
shit every
journey.
single fucking day.
And we have to choose. Ready? I'm going to do a Harry Potter quote. Sometimes we have to choose. No, we have to choose between what's right and what's easy.
Yes.
And that's that.
Yep.
What's the right choice and what's the easy choice? Make it.
I have 3 Harry Potter tattoos, so thank you. Thank you, Marta.
Just a Harry Potter fanatic. So thank you again. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. So, Marta, how was your time with us?
I really enjoyed myself. I hope that you enjoyed yourselves as well. I hope that your
absolutely.
listeners will enjoy themselves. Yeah, this was great. Thank you for having me.
Of course. How do we find you on the social media?
On the social media, well, you
Yes.
can find me on the Instagram
Okay.
at Farta, Farta, Jean, Jean.
Straight up.
Farta Jean. And you will be able to find me regularly at the California Clipper very soon.
Yes.
She will be there. And also I DJ around town as well. So, you can find me popping up playing records, mostly hip hop records.
I know that's right.
Well,
Damn it.
Do you pop up here sometimes?
I do. I have been known to play records here at Avondale Bowl.
You damn
That's
right.
3118
We're doing
North
our
Milwaukee
field trip.
Avenue.
Yes, which is where we're doing our
Our field trip is at Avondale Bowl. I've been waiting the entire time to say
Yes.
this. Thanks, Jeff.
Yes.
Thank you, Avondale Bowl,
so
for having
much.
us.
Yes. And for more information about Avondale Bowl, you can feel free to check them out at www.avondalebowl.com.
Get bold.
Yeah.
www.
I just said that.
You said www dot. It fucked up my brain because I was like www.
It's the World Wide Web.
3. Yeah, but you said 2.
I said 2?
Trip Dubs, Avondale Bowl.
It's 3 W's. .avondalebowl.com.
I was like, is this a new one that we're doing now? I did not know this.
No.
Because some I didn't learn that .edu and .org and like all that stuff was like more poppin' than like in the early 2000s dial-up.
Yeah.
So
Got it. Perfect. Well,
You've got mail.
yes. I would just like to, again, thank you so much, Marta. This has been awesome. A few things that I have to mention as we're wrapping up. Thank you again to our friend. I know, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Thank you again to our friends at Avondale Bowl for hosting this necessary conversation.
Yes.
Also, with our beautiful drinks that were provided by Ryan of the Garnet Crew, we want to shout out Ritual Beverage. Thank you so very much. And also Corey Ice, which is a second chance program. And their ice is made by the same Japanese steel as samurai swords, which is dope as hell. Also, supreme shout out to our friends and partners at Athletic Brewing. Thank you so much. Yeah. And then also Todd Apple of Apple Cordials for helping us with our juicing needs. So what's great about Apple's Cordials is that, excuse me, they're made locally here in Chicago on the north side, and they source from local suppliers whenever possible. So feel free to check them out at applecordials.com. And last but not least, a shout out to the entire Terms of Service crew, Marcus, Max,
Fartcast.
Ryan, Cortez, Daniel, and I am Justin Arnett, and you can find Justin Arnett Graham, and you can find me on Instagram at This Is Bika.
I know. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yes.
And then I saw that email that you sent out because you are particular, and I love it.
Yes. And that's it for me.
And this is your girl, Nariba Shepherd. You can find me on the gram at Rebaru, Rebaru. And that's it, y'all.
Peace. Oh my God.
Yeah, I was not gonna do that.
Amazing.
Amazing.
We could kick you forever.